Hey Bruce, I noticed that South Dakota State had dropped out of the Little Apple Classic. What's kind of the what? How are you guys moving forward with that event without them?
Well, we are trying to scramble to get another team. I'll be honest, I was hoping we had something. We think we're close to having another team join the tournament. I was hoping today not only to announce Logan signing and talk about him, but also to announce some schedule changes. But we haven't got contract signed yet. Um, but we hope we have another team, and we would keep the same format, play Wednesday, Friday. I talked to Coach Boyle last night, and I think both of us agree we still, we're going to have to expect the unexpected and, just kind of make do. If we only have three teams, just everyone play a round robin, just so you get games in. I think that's the goal, and, to get a couple games in and to start the season, and I know the players are excited. It's even though it's only 2 weeks away, it's been a long time coming, and they want to get on the court, and hopefully we'll be able to do that on that Wednesday, the 25th.
And you mentioned Logan in there. What makes him such a good recruit for you guys?
Well, I think it's obviously it's hard to recruit right now. If just we didn't get to finish last season, and then you didn't get to recruit, so you made do. We've talked about it before on some of these Zoom press conferences that our coaches have done a good job of our coaches have done a good job of getting our faces out there, getting our voices out there. Logan was one of the first guys we did our original Zooms with. A young man we kind of found, I don't want to say by accident, but just by word of mouth. He was somebody that I think thought he was going to be a baseball pitcher, was really involved in summer baseball and, travel teams and things like that. And, continued to grow, played at a smaller academy for his first 3 years. And, and the AAU guy, Tony, and up at Phenom Academy in Milwaukee, who's one of the better AAU programs, called Coach Lowry early in the spring and said, "I think I have a guy that you guys might like." And so we got involved with him and continued to recruit him. His recruiting picked up, and we just kind of hung in there. And at the end, he just said, "You guys, I've always had a great relationship with your coaches. You guys have stuck with me, and just excited to have him. Very, very skilled. As he can shoot the three, he can pass. Can do a lot of things. Big body, and we're excited to have him. He just got a great attitude, fun-loving, young man that you enjoy talking to. And a lot of times you get on with recruits now, they just text or they do all the other stuff. They don't want to have phone conversations, but Logan, you can get on the phone and talk to him 15, 20 minutes. Just a good young man that I think has a bright future ahead of him.
I also want to ask, do you know when you expect to have Luke back? And I think last time on here, Mike mentioned Carlton was maybe a little hurt. How's he doing?
Yeah, well, we were down to 7 on Monday. We started Monday with 9. Somebody got hit in the head, had to go through concussion protocol. Then we had a sprained ankle, so we got down to 7. Yesterday we were back up to 9 or 10, kind of rotating a couple guys. But Luke will be re-examined on Monday. And then he's in the boot, hopefully making some progress then after that. Long-term, prognosis probably, mid-late December before he's really back going, live and things like that. And that's if it all goes right. Carlton has had a little bit of a back issue that set him back, and we're progressing him back. He's had a couple procedures done, and hopefully, I know he ran some the last few days, and he's also been shooting. So we're hoping to get him back going, maybe part of practice over the next couple of weeks.
Okay. Thanks, Bruce. I'll let somebody else ask you a question.
Okay. Anything else?
Anybody can take the floor as far as asking questions. I know Kellis had a couple, so.
Yeah, here I got you, Bruce. Just with the way that kind of COVID cases are rising right now in the country, just how tenuous does it feel like the basketball season is right now?
Well, I'll be honest, I'm worried. You turn on TV, and last night, 4 SEC football games canceled, and then a Big Ten game canceled, and it's scary. And I almost don't even want to bring it up to our players because it's been stressful on them. Obviously, we've talked about winning the weight, enduring this whole thing and getting to the season. We're so close. I hope we can find a way to have a season for them and still keep everyone safe. But it's there's some worries. There's no doubt about it. But we'll just have to wait and see. I hope, again, I just hope and pray people wear masks. People are respective of it. They respect the virus. Obviously, it's took a turn for the worse here the last week or so. Our county has actually done a pretty good job. Our numbers are not as high as the rest of the state, but obviously the state of Kansas is at a pretty high rate right now, and I hope we can get things under control and get to a season. I don't know. It's not going to be a perfect season by any means. And I think we all got to anticipate cancellations, changes, and just make the best of it and try to get in as many games as possible.
Can I ask too, just who has impressed you the most so far through the practices you guys have had?
I think Mike McGurl's been the most consistent. There's no doubt he's made a big commitment. I think he's taken a big jump. I've said it before. His physical part of it, his body's much more ready, athletic, stronger. He's doing what a fourth-year guy should be doing now. I've told Mike he's got to do it on the court, in a game, in a live situation, and do it consistent. And so I did a couple national interviews this morning, and how's your team going to be? I have no idea, to be honest. We have no exhibition games, no scrimmages, a lot. Lately it's been a lot of 4-on-4. So I don't know. I like what our guys have done. I like how hard they've worked. I like, what Mike has done on a daily basis. And, he's done a good job. Our big guys have been pretty impressive. We've thrown the ball inside. We feel good about it. I think even our guards are getting more and more confidence and looking for them. Both Casey and Davion can score inside, their physical presence that we haven't had in a while. We've had to go back to our playbook to find some plays to get it inside, true post-up type actions. So we feel good about them. And then, I think the other guards, Dajuan, Nigel Pack. Nigel's been pretty good. He can really shoot the basketball. Dajuan, continues, he just plays so hard, loves to play, slash into the hoop, putbacks, and he's improved his shooting. So, and then Antonio's finally getting back going. Him and Monty have, kind of been in and out with some little different things. But we need those guys to be consistent. And if we feel good about, those two inside guys, get those two experienced forwards and Monty and Antonio consistent. We got Surrey back now. He was out for contact tracing for a little bit. he's got to learn some things. He gives us some athleticism. You feel pretty good about that inside presence. And then it's just the guards, being consistent and getting more experience.
Appreciate it, Bruce. Thanks.
Bruce, could you talk a little bit about Nigel and what he brings? And are you expecting to have it primarily at the point, or?
Yeah, the nice thing is he's a point guard, and he makes plays for others. He passes the ball well. I think the best thing, he just has that feel of the game, those good fundamentals, been well coached. But when you say point guard, he can also really shoot the ball, and we got him running around coming off of screens, and he can make those shots. So, as Rudy continues to progress, we can, get Nigel off the ball a little bit and let Rudy handle. Mike has handled the ball some. And then Selton, I think Selton wants to be a point guard. I don't think he understands totally, what a point guard's job is, but Selton can make plays. And we know for sure. I mean, he makes plays. He makes athletic plays. And so you can put the ball in his hands at times too when you need baskets.
Thanks.
Hey, Bruce, I wanted to ask about Monty. I mean, you guys obviously shut him down early, last season. I just didn't know, how is he doing, and how long did it take him to get back to feeling comfortable and not worried about just the injury?
It's taken a while, to be honest, and I think he's finally, when we got back in the summer, I think we rushed it a little bit at the beginning, and then we had to take a step back and let him progress. I thought probably when we got back into August, where he started to make some strides, and then he's had a couple other little things where he's had some setbacks. I would say almost everybody has had something along the way. Maybe not Mike Casey. I think Nigel's probably been. He even had a little sprained ankle one day, but Dejuan's probably been there every day. But the good thing with Monty, he has a good feel of the game. He's obviously very good defensively. If he can get healthy, confident, I think he can do some good things for us and help us. And Antonio gives you a little more explosive score. He can, shooting the three ball pretty well since he's got back. And he's just, I think his thing, he sat out, pretty much most of the summer. He just got to get stronger and back in shape.
Anybody, if somebody could mute their microphone, please. We need to get the quality of the. Thank you.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kellis.
The TV is really annoying. Bruce, if I asked you right now, who do you think will lead this team in scoring? Who would you guess?
Mike. We keep stats every day. We have, our live stats, and I'd have to look at it. But I would say the two right now are probably Mike and Nigel. Dejuan would probably not be far behind. And then, Casey and Davion have, if you look at percentages, they've been the best percentage-wise. We showed them our player stats the other day. I think in one practice, Casey was 6 for 7, and Davion was 6 for 8. And, so when we were able to get it inside, they've been scoring pretty well. So I'm pretty sure that, you're going to probably look at those three guards, Mike, Dejuan, and Nigel probably would be your three leading scorers right now.
Hey, Coach, going back to Logan a little bit, there's been some comparisons with Dean Wade and the way he plays in basketball.
I know, right?
Is there anyone that comes to mind?
Hold on. Just 1 second. If you guys would mute your microphone, please. There's a lot of feedback for Coach, and try and make the quality of the audio as good as we can under the circumstances. So thank you. Whoever, you could continue with your question. Sorry.
Yeah, no, with Logan, there's no doubt right away when we showed video to him, we showed him Dean Wade, and he was pretty amazed by the different things Dean could do out on the court, how skilled he was. I'm not sure he has quite the bounce. I don't think people appreciated what the bounce and athleticism Dean had. We were showing a highlight tape to a recruit the other day, and that Cam made that lefty one-handed pass to Dean against Oklahoma. He grabbed it, went up and dunked reverse, and no one even made a big deal out of it. And it was like, what he. That things he could do, but Logan is really, he's skilled. He, like I said, he can shoot the three, he can pass the ball, great hand-eye coordination. So we feel excited about him, and he gives us a little different look than Casey and Davion, who they're more inside, back to the basket. Logan can give us a little more perimeter skill and a little different player.
And with regards to Casey, Davion, and Carlton, do you anticipate multiple of those guys being on the court at the same time? If there was a player that would be most likely to play at the 4 spot, who would that be out of those guys?
I think right now, when you're talking this year, obviously you got Monty, Antonio, Surrey. Of those big guys, I guess, if you're talking, you also have Carlton in the mix, who's coming back, and Carlton has pretty good skill out on the court also. So, between Logan and Carlton, you probably have more perimeter big guys that could play more of the high-low game, that type of player.
Bruce, I'm wondering, you talked about doing a lot of 3-on-3 and 4-on-4, and yet you guys are kind of huddled together. I'm curious as to how you feel about how they're bonding as a group and leadership and all of that kind of stuff. Has it been more frustrating to try to build that with what's going on? Or has it been better because you have been a little bit isolated together?
Yeah, obviously they've been very, very close as a group. It's something we challenged them with way back to March, Wyatt. Be closer as a group, even though we're further apart. This is when we're doing the Zooms. Our guys did a great job of staying connected, playing video games together. They had to get to know each other. I think they enjoy each other. They are kind of isolated. They got their little apartment groups. They've stayed together. They've stayed, they kind of hang out together for the most part. So, but you still don't have that interaction. We went bowling one afternoon. We made sure no one else was there just to give them something to do. But, you don't have that true bonding. But I think for the circumstances, they've done a great job of hanging out, being together, just trying to enjoy each other. We've all talked about, and I brought up, Coach Kleiman said after the game, we still have the same mission, that's get better every day. And these guys have really focused. We've talked about having a mission of being ready and as a group for, it's not going to be perfect. It may not be pretty at times, but we all have the same focus. And that's getting the games and then and trying to win as many as we can and being as competitive as we can.
We've got one more, if you don't mind. When Casey first came in a year ago, you loved his energy and you said he needed a little bit of skill refinement in that. I'm just curious as to where you feel like he is now. It just seems like he really busts his hump and wants to be a good player. How's he doing?
Yeah, he is very, very dedicated. And we've actually had to tell him to not go in the gym. I think he was wearing himself out. We've, like when I've talked about, we've had 7, 8, 9 guys in practice. You don't get a break. So, on those days, you can't come back in the gym at night. And so we've had to say, Case, you need to, if you're going to come in, just shoot free throws. Don't, we need you healthy. We need bodies. We can't have somebody like him go down because he just overdoes it. But he wants to be a good player. He cares. The skill refinement he's gotten better. Footwork's, and I'm worried with him and Davion, one, because we haven't had officials, but just following the physicality, those type of things are things I'm worried about with him. But he's got some athleticism. He can block some shots, physicality, and he's really scored well, as I mentioned.
Any other questions for Coach? We'll have Monty and Montavious Murphy and Nigel Pack here in a few minutes. But any last questions for Coach?
Because we're about to talk to Nigel, how would you, who would you compare him to anybody you've had recently? That point.
I don't know. He's I guess Cam. I guess if you're going to look at somebody, it would be Cam. And if you remember, Cam as a freshman had a pretty good year. He could shoot the ball. He pass, good feel of the game. That little guy Nigel's a little stronger than Cam was when they started. Actually, Nigel, when we did our testing, he's one of the stronger guys on our team. So that part, and we ran the mile. We couldn't condition inside, so we had to go back to some of our old school conditioning stuff and tests. And he ran the mile just a little over 5. It was the best on the team. So he has good endurance, good strength for a freshman, very, very skilled. And, I think Cam would be a pretty good comparison.
Hey, Bruce, I had one other thing. I know obviously last season as a whole didn't go the way you guys wanted it, but were you guys able to take any positive vibes with the returning players from the fact you ended on the 2-game winning streak, or was it just like, well, it is what it is. We just need to move on from last year?
Well, we have moved on, but at the same time, we were excited about the finish, and I think Mike McGurl had probably his best game, TCU game in that tournament, and I think that's given him a nice shot of confidence and pushed him to become a leader and feel good about himself. So, we were positive about, kind of the finish, and really excited that this group has been very, very committed to being successful, to doing what we asked, to being coachable. And, I'm excited about it. I want to stay healthy. I want to get the games and see what happens. Obviously it's different. And again, I said earlier, I have no idea what's going to happen when we jump it up on the 25th. And I don't think it's going to be pretty, but I think they care. And if we're patient and keep the focus and stay together, I think we can improve as a team, and we got enough pieces to be very competitive.
I thought that was a really good point, Bruce, because I think a lot of teams are going to be like that. Do you perceive that to be the case? There may be some really veteran teams that won't be, but because of the circumstance, are you expecting a lot of that from a lot of teams?
Oh, I think you saw it in football too. I think Coach Kleiman losing, the first game, Arkansas State. I think Arkansas State just having a game under their belt before that. When I'm watching as a fan, it scared me, that they had that experience, and that's why you would have, we were hoping the NCAA would have going to allow us to play a scrimmage or some type of thing, but. We didn't get that chance, so it's gonna, that first time everyone jumps it up, first couple times, I think it's gonna take a little time to get the rust off, to get get a little bit of flow. Like you said, you know, a Baylor or somebody that has majority of their guys back, you would think they'd have a little better flow. But for the most part, I think nationwide, it's you know, I know coaches, they haven't been in the gym for a whole month at times. And so I know we need games, but I know we need practice. So, but they, you know, sooner or later you got to play, and that's how you learn from practice and get better. But then you look, it's kind of that study for the test, and the test is the game, and then you go back and then you know, get more prepared and keep making progress, and that's got to be our mindset is with this young new group.